Alright, so we have the Hasbro Marvel Legends Fantastic Four Dragon Man figure. This is a hybrid between a Haslab and I guess a deluxe figure. This is a made to order figure. They're first to one, I believe. Did this come before Sentinel? I'm not sure, but they did this. They did the X-Men 97 Sentinel, and now they're doing Mephisto. It is their quote unquote replacement for Haslab, at least for right now. Their way of releasing a bigger figure, more expensive figure, without it being a Haslab and without it being a normal release, I guess, because the price would be too high for a normal release. I don't know. Anyways, here's the box. Pretty big box, bigger than I anticipated, honestly. Pictures didn't do it justice. I saw pictures of these in hand, and just didn't seem it was this big. But sure enough, it's pretty sizable. It goes all the way up here. The box design is pretty cool. It's a little old school design here, so I dig it. It's all enclosed. There is no window. As far as the very top, I mean, it shows the Fantastic Four. On the back side, we do get a look at the figure, some images of the figure. So I anticipate this figure to be pretty large. So let's get it open. I do want you guys to see how this comes packed in, just like this in a clamshell. So they could have given it a window if they wanted to. Would have been displayed pretty well. I don't know what I anticipated. I felt like I thought it was going to come in pieces, like a Build-A-Figure, but it's not. This could have been a Build-A-Figure, but it definitely would have been a very beefy Build-A-Figure for today's standard. We've never gotten a Build-A-Figure this size, except for maybe MCU Hulkbuster, maybe. But yeah, this is definitely bigger than your typical Build-A-Figure nowadays. But yeah, I just wanted to show it in the package how it looks like. All right, so he is all the way to the back, like the furthest I can put him in this diorama to keep everything in frame. He's pretty large, so we're gonna measure him right now. He stands at about just under 11 inches, so I would say about 10.5 to 11 inches tall. And he's great. Honestly, I don't know what else to say. Everything about this figure looks good right out of the box. First impressions, the paint apps and the sculpt look fantastic. I mean, just glorious. It looks like it's all brand new. I definitely have never seen this sculpt before. I'm not even sure if they'll ever be able to reuse this sculpt again, unless they just re-release this guy. But as far as I know, this is the only way you're gonna ever get this Dragon Man, unless, like I said, they re-release him. But the made-to-order program is whatever orders they get, they will make, and that is it. That's all. If you missed out, you're done. It's like the HasLab. You're done. They're not gonna release it again. So if that is true and they hold true to that, this may be a very valuable Marvel Legend couple years from now, because it's going to be very sought after if it isn't already. It's already, I feel like, better than the original. I never owned the original, but I've seen images, and for its time the original was pretty great, but now it does seem a little outdated compared to this one right here. So as you can see, the figure has the open hands right there. He does come with an alternate set of fists right here, and these look pretty good. There's the sculpt overall. So only one alternate hand. We do get this book, which I believe it's been this is a reuse. I want to say the Hellfire Club had this. If it's the same size, or maybe even Beast, but the lab coat Beast. But this one has Future Foundation on the front of it. Here is the inside right there, and then we get a pair of lenses here, or glasses for him. So this looks like it just sits on his nose or on his beak, and it'll just sit there. So we'll see how good that works. We do get a bendy wire tail that comes packed in separately. We can see here the holes there. So this is very, very nice to see them utilizing bendy wires a lot more than ever before. And then as for his wings, they come packed in 4 parts. So the wings go one by one, and even the wings I'm having difficulty getting these in frame. But here is one part right here. You can see the texture on there, really well done. There is some shading, as you can see up here, so there is paint on it. It's not like they just left it unpainted, but I feel like it could have had a little bit more, maybe right here on the arm. Oh, it looks like an arm, right? It looks like a bicep. But on the top of the wing, I should say, here is the little, part up top here that is painted as well. Got some holes here. Here is the alternate side of that wing. So we can see here We can either have the wings like this, basically, or we can open them up and have them like this right here. So this one you get a lot of paint, a lot of texture and detail. Here's the outside of it. On this one, we do get some paint on what I call the arm here, compared to this one, which doesn't have it. I don't know why they did that, but overall, I really like the detail, the sculpt, and the paint job on the wings. It's got the vascularity here, the veins. We even got some paint right here in these tears, these holes. That's cool. So here's the situation on the back side. We get the 2 peg holes on the back for the wings of your choice. As you see, we get 2 alternate options for the wings. Then we get the big peg for the tail. So that should hold the tail in just fine. But overall, something I'm seeing on the figure is just a very nice paint job. There's like, I almost want to say, it's not, gosh, I almost want to say metallic. I don't know. But it's got this sheen to it. Like his scales have this very cool sheen to it. As you can see, there's the airbrush effect, I should say, all over him. Something else that looks really nice is the head sculpt. I mean, the shading on there, the eyeballs are painted very nice as well. Overall, I mean, that looks great. It's fantastic. Of course, we all know the mouth is articulated, so you can open it. There's a tongue inside. That is pretty cool, and the tongue is actually separately articulated too, if you didn't know. There's a hinge for the tongue, so you can move the tongue down or put it up like that, or just completely close the whole thing. But the detail on the head sculpt came out so good. I really have no complaints about it. I love the black wash in there. The eyes are done well. There's this big cranium all the way to the back. And you can kind of really see more of the detail on the sculpt and the paint job of the figure on the back side, or on the front side I should say. Check out the sculpt. I really do dig it. It looks good. Of course it's pinless. So his head's gonna be able to look up about this far right here. Trying to see what's on. It's on a ball joint. Just a ball joint with a hinge there. So because of his head's so fat on the back there, he doesn't really look all the way up without having to use his torso, of course. He looks down about this far, so not too much. Left and right, pretty good, given the size of it. There is a nice head tilt too, which I do like. Arms do go all the way around. They go in and out pretty nice and smoothly. There is a, as you can see, butterfly joint on the torso, so that's always great to see. Details continue, no problem. It does stretch back. There's a bicep swivel. There's a double jointed arm that's super stiff right now. Let's see if I can get it to bend. All right, there you go. It was a little stiff, but I got it to bend there. Pretty good bend to that. The hand is on just a typical hinge here, so that does rotate and it does hinge. As for the torso, there is a diaphragm joint that bends back about that far. It goes forward, it goes left and right, and it tilts. There is not a waist swivel. I feel like there could have been a waist swivel, but there's not. Legs will kick forward. They go back down. They go in and out about this far right there, which is pretty decent. And then that did kind of scratch the paint a little bit. Did that? Yeah, it did scratch the paint a little bit, so that kind of sucks. So I guess be careful with that. There is a thigh swivel at the thigh. As for the knee joints, they are just as tight as the elbows, but they do bend all the way back about that far. And then as for the ankles, they do go on a hinge forward and back. There's a rocker, and then there is no swivel, but there is a toe hinge at the foot right there. Now the design looks a little weird, I guess, because of the toe hinge. So you see a lot of the hinges there. It kind of throws off the look, but it is an action figure at the end of the day. But overall, I'm just glad that we do get the toe hinges. All right, so once you get the tail installed, you're gonna probably want to bend it, of course. You could use it as a little stand there to hold them up, because he's gonna have some back weight, I would imagine, once you put the wings on it. But of course, this is a bendy wire, so you'll be able to pose it up as you wish. But it does look good attached. It does seem to hold in pretty well without popping off. It's a pretty stiff bendy wire too, so you just gotta apply a little bit of force to it. Alright, so here he is with the wings. Of course, he is not fully in frame right now, but if we do, he's a little bit more in the foreground now because of his tail back there. But this is with the collapsed wings here, not the expanded wings, and you can see how great he looks, man. I really am liking this look. Yeah, that looks good, man. The subtle shading that they added in here to create that shadow makes all the difference. It really does. While we're here, let's test out these glasses to see how this would work. I guess you just pinch it here and see if it just sticks. Something like that. Yeah, that's how that works. So it's not on there pretty securely, but once it's on there, as long as you don't have, an earthquake, you should be good. But yeah, it seems like an easy piece to lose. So I would watch out for that. I definitely probably won't display them with the glasses though. That's more meant for like some photography scenes. You may want to pose them in, take a shot, and then that's it. But I don't know. Maybe some people would. But for me, I like to see all the details there, and those tend to cover up the eyes. So anyways, those are the collapsed wings. All right, and here are the opened, expanded wings. And again, what a nice looking figure. Like, that looks pretty good, if you ask me. I don't see how you would be disappointed with this. I love that they gave us both options, for sure. Of course, they're on on that ball. They're not really a ball peg, but either way, you can move them up, you can move them down is what I mean here. So they kind of swivel down and up. But there you go. I mean, this looks pretty darn good. Of course, you can get them in a flight pose or something, attack mode, and have the wings out like that. But overall, this thing has a presence. It's gonna have a presence on your shelf. Let me try to pan out again here. There's only so far I can pan out here, but I still really can't even get it all in frame. It's pretty crazy how big this guy is. Very nice presence for sure. I think he was around, what was he, like $80? Was it $80? 85 or something like that? Honestly, man, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty decent. I mean, it's not cheap, but he's a big figure. He's like a Build-A-Figure, and what do Build-A-Figures tend to go for? Like 50 to 80 or $100 sometimes on their own once they're built. What does it cost to build a Build-A-Figure? You have to get the whole wave for like almost $200. Of course, you do get figures with it, but what if you just want to build the figure, take away the figures? I'd say it's around $80 maybe. Not trying to make it seem like it's cheap, but I feel like it's decent, especially for a character we probably won't get again. We don't see this guy. We haven't seen him in decades. I guess I don't even know when the original one released, but yeah, I think it's a cool, decent deal. And if you missed out, that was the cheapest you're ever gonna probably see it ever again. So yeah. And I'm pretty sure the original Toy Biz one was going for like $500, if I'm not mistaken. So to get a brand new, updated, even bigger one for a fraction of that seems like a pretty good deal. I think if this was priced over 100, it would have been a little bit steep, especially for what he comes with. We're gonna go back to the collapsed wings for a little bit more manageable look all the way around. As much as I can in this review station I have. I'm pretty limited here because if I go back anymore, I'm going to run out of table space to place the camera on. So I really can't even go back more if I wanted to. So unless I just hold the camera free-handed and shake it all over the place. But if I do that, this is what it's going to look like right here. Now, any reason why the collapsed wings aren't colored on the inside while the expanded wings are colored? Shouldn't you have it both looking the same way? I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe I don't know this. Maybe the colors changed. Somebody let me know. But it seems like they should have colored the wings that are collapsed as well. Unless they're just trying to make it seem like it's casting a shadow. But still, I mean, it wouldn't be that much. Anyways, am I tripping on this one? Or is this not? Is this a thing or no? I don't know. Anyways, let me know. Alright, so I went ahead and removed his tail just for the sake of the review and trying to get him in frame here. And just doing that, the weight on his back with just the collapsed wings is pretty significant. Like, he's leaning back, he's standing, but he's leaning back quite a bit. So you might want to have him do a Michael Jackson lean forward, if anything. But Here he is next to the Thanos from the Psylocke 2-pack. I mean, look at this guy. This guy's a beast. I can't even lean him on the back of this. There you go. Alright, so with Thanos next to him, yeah, you can see how big he is. And this is the Thanos that just came out. Alright, here we have the Venom Pool Deluxe figure that was a Build-A-Figure at one point. And you could also see how big Dragon Man is here. So this is our typical size for Build-A-Figure, you can see here. And when this released for Deluxe, was it $35, $40, I believe it was? So yeah, double the price, you get Dragon Man. He's just a little bit bigger. But he's not, he's not Haslab big. So this is like a good middle ground for like not Haslab big, but not Build-A-Figure small, right? If that makes sense. All right, so now we're going a little bit bigger here with the Incredible Hulk. And this guy, this was a regular deluxe release, and it was probably around $30 to $40 as well, if I'm not mistaken. And he's just a little bit bigger, so he's getting close to the size of Dragon Man here. And this is what original Build-A-Figures used to be like. This is the Toy Biz Galactus way up here. Now he was big for a Build-A-Figure, but is he Haslab big? No, not at all. While their Build-A-Figures were big proportionally, this is not as big as what he could have been, and that's why the Haslab Hasbro one released, and you can see just how giant that one is. But yeah, if you compare it next to this Dragon Man, he's going to be taller and I guess bigger. Right next to a regular size character like Spider-Man, you can see the difference there in proportion and size and scale. So that's going to wrap things up on the made-to-order Hasbro Marvel Legends Dragon Man figure. This thing is awesome. I don't know what else to say. Once you get it in hand, you'll really see the presence. I don't see a scenario where this could have been $40 or $50, maybe $70, but $80 is probably, border. If you go close to $100, it might have been pretty steep for this, but I'm glad that I picked it up. I think it's going to be great. Like I said, you're never going to see it for $80 again. Now that it's gone, it's only made to order. You're probably only going to have to pay more than 100 at this point. So you should have ordered it. You should have ordered it when you had the window of the time for it. Definitely is a nice piece, and I think it's going to be on a lot of people's top 10s Marvel Legends of 2025. It's a great figure. It might be on my top 10, honestly. It's a great Marvel Legend, top tier figure to add to your collection, honestly. Good job, Hasbro, on this one. Like I said, I'm looking forward to everyone's thoughts on this figure. Do you guys feel the same way, or do you not? Let me know down below. Catch you guys on the next one.